Take an in-depth look at how Penn Power is working to keep your power on while migrating birds causing power problems for people living in Sharpsville.
Making sure your lights stay on without hurting the environment.
Osprey nesting on our equipment puts them near energized equipment.
According to the national statistics, birds are the second leading cause of power outages.
That's right. Across the Shenango Valley, nesting birds were becoming a big problem. They were causing power outages, even pole fires along Route 18. So what can be done to not only protect the wildlife, but customers' electricity service?
First News on Fox reporter Alexis Walters is live at Shenango Lake in Sharpsville with what the Penn Power came up to do.
Good morning, guys. Well, I'm live right now at the Shenango Lake, where osprey birds like to migrate here for the spring and summer. Now, right behind me right now, there's one sitting in its nest. If we can get you a closer look here, these birds are very large, and what they like to do is nest on high, sturdy surfaces near water. So that makes the causeway in Sharpsville, which is right next to us, a hot spot to see these birds building their homes. Now, the problem is these nests catch fire and not only can harm the birds, but they can knock out power to dozens to thousands of customers. Now, after noticing an uptick in the problem of the osprey, Penn Power decided to move to permanently keep the birds off of the poles. They replaced 21 wooden crossarm poles with new thin fiberglass ones. Now, the fiberglass crossarms can't hold the weight of the heavy, sometimes 3-foot wide nests, like I said.
Over the past 5 years, the osprey population has spiked significantly in this area, and all of our other attempts to deter them from nesting on our equipment have been unsuccessful. We've built nesting platforms, we've put plastic deterrents on top of our poles, and that just doesn't work for them.
Now, what you saw behind me is one of those osprey nesting on a platform that Penn Power built to deter those birds from building on the power lines. Now, they also said that those lines are energized, and that is what can really cause the problems, the fires, and also the birds to lose their lives. Now, coming up in the next half hour, the birds are safe, of course, but what does this mean for the residents who have power lines that run here and use Penn's power? I'll let you know that in the next half hour.
New this morning, keeping the electricity flowing for people who live in Sharpsville.
And too often, power outages are caused by osprey birds that migrate to the area in the spring.
Now, First News reporter Alexis Walters talked with Penn Power about how a new change will not only protect the birds, but also improve your power. Alexis.
Yeah, guys, well, the osprey that migrate to the Shenango Lake every year nest right on top of those electrical poles that run along the Route 18 causeway. For Penn Power customers living in that area, that meant power outages and pole fires for anybody who lives along that area. Anywhere from dozens to thousands of customers could have been affected by these power outages. At first, the company tried to deter the birds away from the poles with nesting platforms and plastic barriers, but they had no luck. So recently, Penn Power took out the large wooden crossarms along the lake altogether. They replaced them with new fiberglass ones that are too thin to hold the weight of these nests. The switch took several months, but during that time, the customers likely didn't see a change. And now the power source should be more reliable year-round.
Customers who were served by the line over Route 18, they were rerouted onto another power line, so there was no impact to those customers. It will benefit those customers now because if that other line were to go out, we can now switch them over to the new line.
They didn't replace all of the poles along the lake, though. For one, fiberglass poles are very costly, but were not at the expense of the customer. Penn Power pulled the money from other capital funds. The hope is that the birds will now use those nesting platforms instead. Once they see how the new installments work, they will reevaluate and decide if they need to install more new fiberglass poles.